I thought I would update you on the latest goings on at the Ford Motor Company. Now, like GM, they're upping the ante when it comes to future products, particularly in the electric and self-driving arenas. And what makes this so cool? The president and CEO of Ford, I personally know the guy.
Really?
Yeah. Jim Farley? Yeah. He used to be the Midwest rep for Lexus. So he'd be out here in Iowa. And then he was the general manager of Scion, where I broke bread with the guy. And then he's bounced around and he's ended up at Ford, and now he's in this position. I haven't talked to him in years, but I know the guy.
That's
I know
cool.
a guy, so
Wow.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let me start by coming right to the point. GM had originally announced that they were going to spend around $20 billion. They ended up spending $29 billion. The Ford Motor Company said, we're going to spend $11 billion with EVs and autonomous cars. The Ford Motor Company just more than doubled what they're going to spend in the next 5 years, $29 billion. Now, granted, people, that's a lot of money, but let me put it in perspective for you. GM and Ford combined is about half of what the Hyundai Group's going to spend in the same amount of time. Hyundai's committed to $87 billion across Hyundai, Kia, and Genesis. Shoot, we talked about Kia a couple of weeks ago, and Kia alone is spending $25 billion, just them. And Ford, across Ford and Lincoln, and across the trucks, cars, everything, is going to spend $29. GM, across all their nameplates, plus their joint ventures and stuff, roughly, in the high 20s.
But also committed to not selling anymore by a sum, right? We discussed.
Light-duty cars and trucks are pretty much done by 2035, and they're promising to be carbon neutral, and we're talking about GM now, by 2040.
So you think you'd have to invest more, but I don't mean to go on about GM, but I'm surprised their number isn't higher because of what they'll probably have to do to make up for.
Guess what? Before this is over, it will be.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, the big announcement. Ford plans to invest $29 billion in electric and autonomous vehicles in the next 4 years. Let that sink in. And this is for all you haters out there that said EVs aren't a thing and autonomous cars ain't coming. These folks are spending big money. GM is. Ford is. You name the automaker. They're in hard on these two items. Electric vehicles and autonomous vehicles. They're in hard. This is real. This is happening. This is going to be a thing. Ford said a majority of vehicles under their plan will be all electric. But the company has also had hybrid and plug-in hybrid models that will continue to have traditional internal combustion engines. So while it will be reduced, it's not totally going away. Now, what I also want to talk about, I'm talking about Ford. Now, I said 29 for Ford. It's 27 for GM. Again, they're spending all this money by 2025. I want that to let that sink in. That Ford came late to the party, but they upped the money hard. On top of all of this, again, underlined of what could possibly go wrong, let me give you this segue, because we're talking about Ford and the Ford news. I want to read the headline, then I'm going to read this. Ford, Google team up to reinvent everything from manufacturing processes to in-car experience. It's a 6-year partnership. We'll see future Fords and Lincolns come in with built-in Android operating systems. But they didn't stop there. Google's walking into their plants. They're going to significantly redo the way Ford does everything. I want that to sink in. For those of you who are into the Internet of Things, imagine Google and the Internet of Things at an industrial scale.
All I keep thinking about is the privacy and data issues we're talking about, and big tech. And
I keep seeing a day where automobile assembly plants are completely automated. There are no people in them.
And that, yeah.
And there's some sub-assembly plants been that way already. GM had a steering wheel assembly plant in, I believe it was either Saginaw or Bay City, Michigan, that was fully automated.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Yep.
Years ago. So this is not new. And it brings me back to Minority Report, where they show it was Lexuses, ironically, that they were building.
Yeah.
And the year was 2037.
Yep.
And, which were totally, completely automated plant.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, it still creeps me out. Some of that stuff was actually coming to pass now, which is weird, but okay. But I think the thing that you need to realize, dear listener, is that Apple, Google, and companies like that are fusing together in our manufacturing chain, our manufacturing supply chain as vendors, suppliers, and they're changing the way that we're doing everything. Because our vehicles are already computers on wheels, they're talking, and in fact, 2 Ford models right now, for at least some infotainment system functions, will take over-the-air updates. In time, all cars will do that, not just Teslas.
Yeah.
And not just for infotainment. Their goal, which this gets me because this is a major change right here. Let me quote this. And this is from Ford. They said the deal with Google will allow us to more rapidly update the vehicle, and experience will get better during the lifetime of the vehicle. Think about this. And again, Tesla's already doing this. That if you bought a Model S 10 years ago, it's probably still very relevant because it's been getting the updates for 10 years if you've been willing to pay for them.
Yeah.
Imagine a vehicle that until it wears out, literally wears out, is as modern as you can make it. Instead of spending another $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to buy a brand new vehicle, you spend maybe $1,500, $3,000, or a monthly fee, just like you do for software, to update your vehicle and keep it current.
Well, I guess what kind of things are they updating and keeping current that
everything.
Like in your engine
Yes,
motor? Like,
yes,
okay,
yes, everything. From comfort level to infotainment to the advertising you see to the internet experience.
See, that's
the
where my
comfort
head-
of your seat.
Yeah.
How your tires grab the road.
Okay,
how your
yeah,
vehicle
that's-
brakes. Everything is on the table. It's a computer.
Yeah.
I mean, years ago, if you wanted to up the performance of a car, it was hardware. You actually literally had to change a carburetor,
Yeah.
change the points, a hot coil. It took hardware. Today, it's programming. It's software. It's a software change, literally, to update any of that.
Mm-hmm.
And as they get this right, you'll pay for the updates. That's their whole point. They want a revenue stream in the future that goes beyond just selling you the car.
Well, I was going to say, because that revenue stream's going to get cut down now, just selling you a new car. Because
and they've said that. They said it 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Ford said it and GM said it 6 years ago.
we'll
So
just give
think
you
about,
updates, subscription,
exactly.
Netflix of cars.
Or your cell phone plan.
Yeah.
Or your software plan. Office 365. You're always going to be paying something every month. But it'll be way less than the car payment you're making now.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.